everyone, welcome to today's vlog. It's not a pregnancy vlog for once. Oh my goodness. Today I am finally doing my most highly requested video for probably the past 6 months, and that is baby names that we love but won't be using. Now we have a bit of an not unusual, but a bit of a different last name, and that is Orange. Take it the colour, take it the fruit, whichever way you want it. That's how it is. And it's spelled exactly the same way, O-R-A-N-G-E. Supposedly that last name was meant to have a little ding at the top of the E, and it was meant to be pronounced Orange or Orange or something like that. Apparently it may have been French or Spanish or something, and just over the hundreds of years it got turned into something way more English. Orange. Now having a last name that is either a fruit or a colour makes baby name picking kind of hard, especially when you hear the names that I like. Alright, so let's get into it, and I am going to start with the girl's name. So the first name on my list is Eden. So like the Garden of Eden. I really like the name Eden. I thought it was really pretty, really feminine. Only problem is Eden Orange. It sounds like eat an orange. And no matter how many times I say it, I can't get past it. I just see eat an orange, eat an orange, eat an orange. I couldn't bring my child to go through that. The next names I have is like Willow, Poppy, Scarlet. You know, I can't have anything to do with like foods. I can't have anything to do with like shrubs and stuff like that. Like Willow, you know, it's a tree. Poppy, it's a plant. Scarlet is a colour, although we have used that as a middle name for Mila Rose. I felt that was okay because people don't generally use their middle names at all unless they're filling out paperwork. So because I couldn't use it as a first name, I gave it to Mila Rose as a middle name. But yeah, so Willow Orange, Poppy Orange, Scarlet Orange, Rose Orange, all these names on their own we just can't use. They're beautiful, they're feminine, and I just love names like that, but we can't use them because of the last name Orange. This one is Indy. I loved that name, and before we found out that this baby was a boy, Indy was my top pick. That was the name we were going to have for a little girl, and then Martin's cousin gave birth to a little girl and called her Indy, which is fine. So that was okay because we found out we're having a boy, so it didn't matter. But if you've been a subscriber of mine for a long time, you'll know that some of Martin's family in another country, who we barely know anyway, defriended us all on Facebook and had a bit of a spat over the fact that we called Mila Rose because their daughter was called Mila Rose, and yeah, they didn't like the fact that we called our daughter Mila Rose. We didn't even know that their daughter was called Mila Rose because so even though they're Martin's cousins, they're like, Martin's met them like twice in his entire life, and the second time was on our summer holiday a couple of years ago. So they live in Australia, we barely know them, and you know, it's not like we phone them or anything like that. And yep, but they didn't like that. So most of you know that story already, but yeah, so we haven't had any contact with them since we called our daughter Mila Rose, which is I think a little bit over the top, but whatever. The next name I have is Summer. I love things like summer and winter and autumn. I think seasons are also, they make for really beautiful names, and but again, I feel like they just don't fit in with our last name, and a lot of those names I liked as well because they were sort of like uncommon, but now they're becoming a lot more common. Also, my cousin's dog was called Winter, and it would just remind me of their dog all the time if I called my kid Winter. On to the boys' names. So these are names that obviously we may have considered for this baby. The name that we have chosen for this baby is on this list. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it is written here as names that we love but won't be using, and it has now turned into a name that we are using. The reason here I've got it scratched out is because of the whole you know, we had how we liked Eden, and it sounds like Eaten Orange. Well, the name we've chosen may not, or not, Martin doesn't reckon it does, I reckon it sounds like like a sentence that you could say to do with the last name Orange. Martin reckons I'm overthinking it, so you'll just have to wait a few more weeks to find out what the name is. Anyway, so I do like the name Wyatt. I feel like Wyatt is a nice strong boy's name, not too common but not weird. Can't use it though because it is actually my maiden name. So although it could be seen as like a tribute or a memory thing for my old last name, I just felt like, yeah, I just didn't want the first name to be the same as my last name, I guess. Another name we have is Maddox. I really liked the name Maddox. It was like, I think I like really strong boys' names, and it was kind of sort of unusual, you know, not in like the top 50 or top 100 or anything, except Martin doesn't like it, so I can't use that name. Next name I have is Malachi. Now Roman was going to be Malachi, and I'm glad we didn't end up choosing that name, because now that I see Roman, and I'm pretty sure it'll be the same for this baby, and this is, don't take this in a racial sense at all, but I just feel like we are too white for the name. We're very fair-skinned people, and I just feel like Maddox is a very strong, like a really tanned little boy, whereas, you know, I've just got my little really pale white children. So I just felt like that wasn't a good fit, but I do really like the name Malachi. Next name is Max. I love the name Max, Maximus or something like that, another strong boy's name, but it is our dog's name, so we can't use that. The next one is Xavier, and I can tell you the name Xavier, that was going to be this baby's name, and it was for a little while, and I don't think we're going to go back to that name. I think the name we've chosen now is the one we're keeping, so I'm safe to tell you the name, but it was going to be Xavier, and I just wrote it down and it just didn't feel right, but I think the name is beautiful. I like how it's different with the X at the front, uncommon letters in, you know, normal English names, so Xavier, it just sounds very boyish, and that's what I really liked about it, but in writing it down I just felt like it wasn't the right fit for this baby. And the last name for a baby boy is Luca. We did like the name Luca, but we just felt like it was just a little bit too common. I'm not a big fan of names that are super common, like Sophie, Sarah, Jack, Sam, Benjamin, Ben. I'm just not into names that are super common that you're definitely gonna hear in a classroom, that have been around for a very long time and very popular. I'm just not into those names, so that's why I did like, that's why I chose against having Luca, because 10 years ago when we first started trying to have children, it wasn't that popular, it wasn't that common, you didn't really hear it. Now I hear it everywhere. Alright guys, so that is my list of boys and girls names that we love, but well, that I love, but we won't be using. If you have any other name suggestions for this baby that I am carrying now, please list them below, because it is not set in concrete the name we have chosen. It's 99.9% sure that this is going to be his name, but the only thing that will sway me is if you guys give me one that is just super duper amazing and even better. So like I said, I don't like super common names, but I don't like anything that's weird, hard to spell and a bit odd, so gotta find that middle ground. Alright guys, well thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed the fact that I did something different other than a pregnancy vlog. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in my next vlog. Bye!